In this video, I'm going to show you how to manually create the database in case something went wrong creating your database. So first thing you want to do is go to the description box below this video and in YouTube to grab the link for SQL Server Management Studio that matches your operating system. There's a 32-bit and a 64-bit. In my case, it's 32-bit, so I've already downloaded it, so I'm going to run it here. And in this install, you don't have to change any of the settings, so you can leave them all just regular. So hit Next, hit I accept, Next, leave your name, hit Next, and install. This is going to take several minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video as this installs. If you get a user account control box that comes up and asks you to continue, just go ahead and click Continue on that. And actually, while this is running, we want to check and make sure the database has not partially been created. So you can leave this run in the background. And then what we want to do is open up Windows Explorer. So you can do Start, All Programs, go down to Accessories, and run Windows Explorer. Here we go. And once that opens up, we want to go to the left side of this list and choose Computer, and then go to your C drive. And then if you're on Windows 7 64-bit, this will be Program Files x86 instead of Program Files. So choose that directory if you're on 64-bit Windows. Otherwise, go to Program Files, and then go down the list into Microsoft SQL Server, and then MSSQL.1, and then MSSQL. And you might be prompted to continue. Click Continue. And then once that opens, you'll want to go ahead and go into the Data folder. Just waiting for that to refresh. And in this folder, if you see anything that says Eye in the Sky Screener, there may be 2 items in here. Click on them and hit the Delete key on your keyboard and say yes to deleting them. But in this case, it appears that there are not any Eye in the Sky Screener databases in there. So we can go ahead and just close this out. Alright, it looks like this is wrapping up. It's writing the system registry values. It may take up to like 5 minutes for this to install. It's got quite a few files associated with the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. But what we're doing here is we're creating the database manually. And if you started Eye in the Sky Screener and it was not able to create the database, then we're just making sure the old database is gone, and we're going to manually create the database by using this tool. So once this is finished, we'll see a Finish button down here. And then the next step that we're going to go into when this is done is installing Eye in the Sky Screener, in case you haven't done so already. And we'll go to the website to pull that down. Alright, so that's finished up. We can hit the Finish button. Now this next step, if you have not already installed Eye in the Sky Screener, we need to do that. So go to the browser, to the website, and download either the 32-bit or the 64-bit version of the screener. I'm on Vista 32-bit, so I'm going to click the 32-bit, and I'm going to save that to my desktop. And then once that's finished downloading, you can run that. And I'm just waiting for that to come up, and choose Run. And then User Account Control, you might have to click Allow, and then click Next, 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 and then on this you can create a desktop icon if you wanted to check that box, and then click Install. And now this is important. Uncheck the Launch Eye in the Sky Screener checkbox, because we're going to manually create the database before we start the software. So uncheck that and then click Finish. And now we go back to SQL Server Management Studio. We actually start that by going to the Start button, All Programs, Microsoft SQL Server 2005, and then SQL Server's Management Studio Express. Take it a minute here to start up for the first time. And it's just configuring the environment to run. You can close the Help Make It Better box there. And hit the Connect button. If you don't see your computer name in SQL Express up here, you can click this down box and choose Browse for More, and then navigate until you see that SQL Express. Then you click the Connect button, and that'll bring you into the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio Express. The first thing we want to do once that connects is to check this Object Explorer on the left side to make sure there's no databases hanging around called Eye in the Sky Screener. So if you hit the plus sign and expand that and look under databases and look for Eye in the Sky Screener, if there was one, there isn't in this case, you would right click on it and choose delete. But since there isn't one in this case, we don't need to do that. Now we are going to go ahead and manually create the database, so choose the File menu, Open, File, and then click My Computer, go to the C drive, and on Windows 64-bit you'd have Program Files x86, but in this case I'm on a 32-bit machine, so I'm going into Program Files, and then Eye in the Sky Screener, and then choose the Create DB file. It'll then ask you to click the Connect button, and then what we're going to do is run that script, which is this Execute button just above the script window with the red exclamation point. If you click that, it'll start running it, and it shows Executing Query down here at the bottom. Let that run for a second. That may take about 30 seconds to run. What we're looking for is completed successfully in that area once that's finished. There we go. It says query executed successfully. So we've created our database, and now we need to create some tables in it. So we choose File, Open, File, and we grab the Create Tables script. Click Connect again. And before we execute it, we have to go to this drop-down box and choose Eye in the Sky Screener. And then we click the Execute button. And now it should say Commands executed or completed successfully. We're done with this tool. Your database is now created and ready to go. And so we can close out of SQL Server Management Studio. And now you can go ahead and launch Eye in the Sky Screener based on the desktop icon you created when you installed it. And it should bring up a message saying Verifying Database. And that'll display for a couple seconds. It's just kind of checking the consistency of the database. And then you'll be presented a welcome screen, which tells you how to get started with the software. So go through and read those steps, and then click the Close button, and then you're presented with a registration screen. And if you email me at sales@eyeintheskyscreener.com, or you can go to the website and click on this yellow button, click here to request your free copy. It sends me a request, and I send you a demo code good for 30 days so you can evaluate the software. And I'm sure after 30 days you'll realize that it saves you time and makes you a lot more money, basically by allowing you to focus in on the most profitable trades. Once you receive that email from me, you just put in the demo email address up here and the registration code, and then click the register button, and you'll be taken into the software. Let me know if you have any questions. You can email me at support@eyeintheskyscreener.com. Thank you very much for your time.